just to briefly introduce myself, I'm a primary trained teacher. I teach upper key stage 2 in a middle school, so we teach years 5 through to 8. I'm qualified to teach primary school, but I have a specialism in science, and I've seen the benefits of having a STEM vision throughout the curriculum through my time here at Walton. Since I joined, we've come up with a new vision which really takes on STEM values to bring along that idea of creating tomorrow's role models by combining traditional values with futures thinking. So we've embedded STEAM values across the curriculum through explicit lessons and through extracurricular opportunities. And I'm going to talk about a specific one of those which I am lucky enough to get to run. The Eco Council is something which I really very much inherited from a departing member of staff that was founded on our school's traditional values, which are work hard, respect each other, and look after the environment. Naturally, the Eco Council is all about looking after the environment. It was originally established to improve the environment in and around our school, and when I first took over, most weeks that seemed to amount to deciding we needed another litter pick of the grounds. I very quickly found that the children involved had bigger and better ideas than I could possibly have come up with, and their passion for environmental issues has inspired me and everyone else around the school and carried this club into what it now is. At the time of taking over the Eco Council, I had the pleasure of running 2 other STEM clubs, which were much more obvious STEM, to borrow a phrase from earlier. And I think it wasn't until I was partway through working with the children to improve the Eco Council that I realised that actually those STEAM values that were tucked into the work really did sneak up on us. Over the course of the year and a bit that I've had the pleasure of running Eco Council, we've conducted ecological surveys, we've explored waste management, we've had the opportunity to go and visit energy recovery facilities, we have looked at the properties of materials, and that's just a very small number of the STEM skills that we've found embedded in the work that we do. It's the most pupil-led of the STEM clubs that I've been involved in because it fits with what they want to do. The Eco Schools ethos is that it should be pupil-led and that they should be finding ways to improve the school, and it actually fits with our ethos as a school as well, to inspire the role models of tomorrow. Given that it's very pupil-led, just some of the ideas that they've come up with have involved visiting the Viola ERF to go and see what happens to the rubbish that we throw away at school. We've taken local nature walks to conduct ecological surveys and see what kind of nature is going on and how we can better protect it. We've explored what happens to our rubbish and how we can turn it into art instead of throwing it away. We've looked into planting trees. We've done all sorts of bits and pieces, including a very exciting trip to McDonald's to go and see what it is that they do with their rubbish. Apparently that was their favourite. I'm not surprised. In order to make that club work now, we've had to make a few changes. It's not a club that ran during lockdown, unfortunately, because it just didn't translate to working online for us. However, when we've come back, we've managed to make some really simple changes that so far have proven to be super effective. We've reduced the numbers of children who are able to participate in the Eco Club for now. Hopefully we'll be able to expand again when things are a little bit better and safer. And I've had to split that club into 2 groups. We're a large school, we've got 5 form entry. So I've got a year 5 group who meet on 1 week and a year 6 group who meet on alternate weeks. And we're going to have different objectives so that we don't need to cross over our equipment and so that we don't need to cross over with the space that we are using. Elsewhere in the school, although we never ran virtually for the Eco Club, we did find a way to make STEM clubs work remotely. Key Stage 3 STEM Club translated very, very well to working online. I don't have very much involvement in that, but our ever brilliant staff, Mrs. Dudley and Mr. Taylor, who go above and beyond to inspire our young people in all sorts of things in STEAM, both in lessons and in extracurricular fields, made it work by doing some very, very simple things. They kept the club running at the same time, online, on the same days. They used Zoom at first and eventually translated that into Teams as we as a school figured out how Teams works. They issued a challenge each week where they would demonstrate it, send the children off, and the next week they would come back and share with us what they had done. And it was incredible. Some of the things that they produced for us, I'll share with you on the next slide, were remarkable. They did this largely independently, but quite frequently with parents, with siblings, with whoever else they were spending time with during their experience of being stuck in their homes. And we were then able to share the things that they had made via social media. We've got quite active presence on social media within our community, and we posted fairly frequently. And that allowed the wider community, who wouldn't normally be able to participate in these STEM challenges, to get involved and to share with us their attempts as well. Just a few of the things that we had our community getting stuck into were knitting and crocheting, things related to STEM. We've got intestines on display there. We had the classic Coke and Mentos challenge. We made music using glasses and water, and we had a completely edible and slightly freaky, anatomically correct heart baked for us. And that's just a few of those challenges. The list really does go on and on. During lockdown, the Key Stage 3 team were equally inspiring in their virtual meetings with some competition teams that they decided to put out. They participated in the Shell Bright Ideas Challenge entirely virtually using only Microsoft Teams and Zoom. They participated in the Nesta Longitude Explorer Challenge, again, entirely virtually using only the magic of Zoom and Microsoft Teams. And that team, who worked entirely online and didn't see each other in person, actually went on to place second, which is absolutely incredible given that they couldn't be together in person. Making STEM clubs work now in person is a very real challenge across the school, because we're committed to maintaining a practical curriculum still in all of our lessons, which means that the equipment that you would normally be able to get a hold of for these STEM clubs to run at your lunchtime or after school isn't currently available, between quarantining it and cleaning it so that everyone has access. So in order to make that work, we have got a few just low resource, low ideas that have been able to pick up and just share at lunchtime during that short period where our bubbles are able to come in and get involved, that I'm going to share with you very quickly now. So just a few of those involve marble runs, which is dead easy. You can make those out of marbles and just whatever you happen to have lying around the classroom. There is the hairdryer challenge, which is a fantastic one for exploring properties and how things move around and air resistance, etc. That's the word I wanted. There's making music from water and glasses. Again, that's a nice easy one for the children to get stuck into in a very short amount of time. The glider challenge, if you've got a little bit more time, is a really nice one for the test-retest principle. You can get involved in evaluation, and you can do that using paper and card, which most schools will have just lying around. And the bridge challenge is always a nice one, bridging a space between two tables, just using whatever equipment that you happen to have lying around again, which means that you don't need a huge amount of equipment, and you don't even need a huge amount of time to get jumping in and getting started with those STEM clubs. So yeah, just my final thoughts are that you don't need a huge amount of equipment or specialism to get started in STEM clubs. I wasn't 100% sure what I was doing when I started them, and actually I found that just getting stuck in and getting involved with the kids and finding out how we were going to make things work got us moving very quickly. And also, if you're interested in getting involved in eco schools, eco councils, eco clubs, there is an eco schools program which is absolutely brilliant that you can get involved in. It's got some really nice pre-steps to get you started, and working towards those bronze and silver awards is a fantastic way to get your school started on the step towards becoming a little bit more environmentally friendly. And that's me.